All right, I'm going to read you guys a story about the three little pigs, and then I have an activity kind of planned with comprehension after. All right, so the three little pigs. Once upon a time, there was an old mother pig who had three little pigs and not enough food to feed them. So when they were old enough, she sent them out into the world to seek their fortunes. The first little pig was very lazy. He didn't want to work at all, but he built his house out of straw. And the second little pig worked a little bit harder, but he was somewhat lazy too, and he built his house out of sticks. Then they sang and danced and played together the rest of the day. The third little pig, he worked hard all day, and he built his house with bricks. It was a sturdy house, complete with a fine fireplace and chimney. It looked like it could withstand the strongest winds. So there's a picture of the pigs. The next day, a wolf happened to pass by the lane where the three little pigs lived, and he saw the straw house, and he smelled the pig inside. He thought the pig would make a mighty fine meal, and his mouth began to water. So he knocked on the door and said, little pig, let me in, let me in." But the little pig saw the wolf's big paws through the keyhole, so he answered back, "No, no, no, not by the hairs on my chinny chin chin." Then the wolf showed his teeth and said, "Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house down." So he huffed, and he puffed, and he blew the house down. The wolf opened his jaw very wide and bit down as hard as he could, but the first little pig escaped and ran away to hide with the second little pig. The wolf continued down the lane, and he passed by the second house made of sticks, and he saw the house, and he smelled the pigs inside, and his mouth began to water as he thought about the fine dinner they would make. So he knocked on the door and said, little pigs, let me in, let me in." But the little pigs saw the wolf's pointy ears through the keyhole, so they answered back, "No, no, no, not by the hairs on our chinny chin chin." So the wolf showed his teeth and said, "Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house down." So there's a picture of the wolf. Looks like the one with the straw first.
Uh-huh.
All right. So he huffed and he puffed and he blew the house down. The wolf was greedy and he tried to catch both pigs at once, but he was too greedy and got neither. His big jaws clamped down on nothing but air, and the two little pigs scrambled away as far as their little hoofs could carry them. The wolf chased them down the lane. He almost caught them, but they made it back to the brick house and slammed the door closed before the wolf could catch them. The three little pigs, they were frightened, and they knew the wolf wanted to eat them. And that was very, very true. The wolf hadn't eaten all day, and he had worked up a large appetite, chasing the pigs around, and now he could smell all three of them inside. And he knew the three little pigs would make a lovely feast. So the wolf knocked on the door and said, little pigs, let me in, let me in." But the little pigs saw the wolf's narrow eyes through the keyhole, so they answered back, "No, no, no, not by the hairs on our chinny chin chin." So the wolf showed his teeth and said, so there's the pig right there with the bricks.
Mm-hmm.
"Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house down." Well, he huffed, and he puffed, and he puffed, and he huffed, and he huffed, and he huffed, and he puffed, and he puffed, but he could not blow the house down. At last, he was so out of breath that he couldn't huff, and he couldn't puff anymore, so he stopped to rest and thought a bit. But this was too much. The wolf danced around with rage, and he swore he would come down that chimney and eat up those little pigs for supper. But while he was climbing on the roof, the pig made up a blazing fire, and they put it on a big pot full of water to boil. Then, just as the wolf was coming down the chimney, the little pig took the lid off, and plump, in fell the wolf into the scalding water. So the little pig put on the cover again, and boiled the wolf up, and the three little pigs ate him for supper. So here's the boiling water, and the wolf's coming down, thinking he's going to get him, and then they caught him in the water, and they had him for dinner. All right, so you're going to do comprehension, Reggie. Do you know what comprehension is? No? Do you know what comprehension is? All right, comprehension is where you're trying to figure out what was the story all about. Did you catch everything that the story was trying to tell you? All the details to a story. So Alex, I'm going to have you do this, and Maya, I'm going to have you do this one. And you have to tell me, what does this say?
The main characters.
So you have to write about what the main characters are, and then supporting characters if there's any in there. And then the setting and the problem and the solution. So just start here, and I'll help you in a little bit. Maya, yours says?
Name 5 characters in the story.
Yep, so please name some of the characters that you know in the story. And how many pigs were there? How many pigs? 3. So you can put a little 3 next to it. You don't have to put all 3 down. Just put 3 little pigs. Yep, very good, because you both have little pigs down. Who else is in the story? Think about other characters that are in the story. So supporting characters are like, they're not the main ones. You just keep doing yours, Maya. The supporting ones, they're like they're like characters that are just like in the story, but they're not like as big of a deal.
Oh.
So who else was in the story?
Spell how you spell wolf.
Wolf. Yep. How do you spell it?
W-O-L-F.
Yep. So W-O-L-F. Yep, because you have that L sound in there. Wolf. Yep, very good. Nice job. You guys have both of the main characters right there. So what's a supporting character that we could think of? Who else is in the story that we don't talk about that much?
Mommy pig.
Mommy Pig. Yep, very good. All right. So now you're on to
What is the problem?
what's the problem in the story. So what is the problem in the story? So then think about it. Write it down. What do you think the problem is? Always try to make sure we have correct punctuation when you start a sentence out.
Oh.
Okay, and then you can write, what do you think the solution is? So what happened at the end? So there was a problem in the story, and then what happened at the end? Like, what was the solution? What took place? So that's what you're writing at the bottom. You can write it down, and then we'll talk about it in a few minutes. Okay, so yours says,
What is the solution in the story?
yep, so you're gonna write what kind of happened. So this was the problem, and then when there's a problem, you always hopefully have a solution. So what was the solution in
We
your story?
talked about that kind today.
Good, great, that's awesome. Nice job, both of you having nice handwriting. Can read them both. Excellent. Yep. Okay, very good. And then the last thing you need to tell us the setting, kind of like where does it take place? Like the setting is like the place, kind of. Where does the setting?
At the houses.
Okay, you know, go ahead and write that in there. So the wolf is trying to feed the pigs. He ran down the chimney, and the third pig put a boiling pot of water on the chimney, under the chimney. The wolf fell in. Okay, so Maya's finishing up. Let's talk about. So now we're going to summarize it. Everything we know. So comprehension would be. I'm going to tell you everything that kind of went on in the story. How did the story go? So Alex, if you were to describe the three little pigs, how would you describe it? Like what happened?
So the three little pigs made their houses, and then one of the pigs made it out of straw, and then the second one made it out of stick, and then the third one made it out of brick. And the wolf tried to blow the first house down, and it worked. And the first pig went to the other house. Then the wolf huffed and puffed and blew that house down. But then they all ran to the third house with the bird, and the wolf couldn't puff it down. And then the wolf went up there, and then he went down, but the boiling pot was there, and then the third pig lifted the thing up and kerplunk.
Very good. Mike, got anything to add to that? What did you write here? What did you read about? What did you say what your solution was?
Then the three pigs made a boiling water. Then the wolf came down the chimney. Then the three pigs had him for dinner.
And then they ended up, that last part is they had him for dinner. Right? Exactly. He was going to eat them for dinner, but in return, they ended up eating him for dinner. So that's kind of the funny thing of the story. He got greedy. He tried to get both of them at one time, and then what happened? He didn't get any of them. If he would have just gone for one, he probably could have had some dinner of pigs, but instead, they went for dinner. You guys did a great job. Okay?